into this. Let's talk some preseason stuff. I'm just going to make a quick note. I did not watch the Dallas Mavericks game. I work as a high school broadcaster. If you've listened to this podcast, you know that I had a game to do on Friday while they were playing against the Dallas Mavericks. Glad I missed it because it looks like the Mavericks put up 40 points in the first quarter, and yeah, it did not look like the type of game I would have been entertained by. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Like, what are your reactions from preseason, and how do you look? How does this team look going into the regular season?
Kory, I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, just for me, I think that it's kind of – I'm going to actually piggyback off of Monty Williams. I'm a cop-out right now. I think it's really hard to see what this team is going to really be until we know what that starting lineup is going to be when everybody's fully healthy, and you'll just be able to see their real full potential because, I mean, Bogdanovich, Monte Morris, they didn't even play the preseason games. And it's not looking, and we just heard today that they're not going to be available for the season opener versus the Heat. And we don't even know if they're going to be making the trip to Charlotte or what their status is for the home opener. So I think we want to really know what the full potential of this team is going to be. But right now, just from my perspective of looking at them compared to last year, I think it looks like they're playing a lot harder. I think Monty Williams coming in has seen that, hey, he's taking over a team with one of the worst defenses last season. And he's really been – every time you hear him speak, he's been emphasizing defense. And I think just right now, what we've seen this year, just in my opinion, better effort on that side of the ball. Yes, they've been getting scored on. A couple of guys have been getting mixed up, but the effort is there.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think the biggest storyline, if you have followed the preseason, like myself, like Lance, like you, I think it's Jaden Ivey not in the starting lineup. And I think a lot of Pistons fans, especially on Twitter, you're on Twitter, Kory, the overreactions with him not being in the starting lineup. And when you see him trying on defense, that's the most I've seen him actually give an effort on the defensive end. I think it was the OKC game where they won. Like, there were plays where he was forcing Josh Giddey to kind of like pick up his handle. He had him like basically like on one knee trying to dribble the ball. Like, I haven't seen that type of defensive effort. And I think that's the message that Monty's trying to get across with everybody on the team. Like you said, he's been preaching defense. And I think that's what they honestly need, because there were a lot of times last year where there was no help side. As soon as you like got by like a Killian Hayes or a Jalen Duren, we all know like this team has struggled defensively. So that's something I have appreciated, reading your articles, reading, all the beat writers do such a good job in the city covering this team. He's really emphasizing that defensive end, and it's something that I do really appreciate. But do you have anything to add, Lance, just with the preseason as a whole?
I just wanted to ask you, Kory, real quick, when it comes to, since we're talking about Jaden Ivey, we talked about this last week, and it was Monty Williams when Anthony was just saying how he emphasized defense. You're at practices and everything. Did it feel like that Monty was talking directly to Jaden Ivey when it came to the defense, or is that just something fans like me and Anthony kind of, I don't know, maybe we exaggerated a little bit? Because I thought he was actually kind of pointing directly at Jaden Ivey when it came to the defensive conversation.
Well, I believe he's mentioned, and I could be wrong because, like I said, I've been there, but I believe he's mentioned him, like not trying to single him out, but just mention him as a guy that they're trying to get up defensively. But I think he was talking about the team as a whole. I mean, just as a defensively, their guards were just not great last year, and the record proved it. So I don't think that was just a singling out of Jaden Ivey. I think that was just a singling out of the entire mentality of the team as a whole, because he basically did – well, you know what? To pull it back, I will say this. He did pretty much say that guys are not just going to be starting just because of where they were drafted or because they're going to be starting. It's going to be an effort to the defense. So if you want to pull from that and decipher that and maybe connect it to Jaden, maybe you could. But I think it was just mainly as a whole. But, again, it's possible.
So is Jaden Ivey the type of player that would take a quote like that from Monty personally and be like, okay, maybe he wasn't talking to Jaden Ivey personally, but maybe Jaden Ivey's like, you know what? I feel like I was attacked a little bit. So let me just show out and prove to coach that I can play on that side of the ball. Is Jaden Ivey that type of player?
I don't think so. I think from the pulse I've gotten about Jaden Ivey, he's a team guy. He's a guy that appears to be wanting to be coached the way he's being coached. I mean, you're talking about a guy when during media day, when they asked him about what he thought about Monty Williams being his coach before a game was played, before they really even had a meaningful practice, you got this guy being an emotional and almost going down in tears about him saying how blessed he is to be coached by Monty Williams. And I'm pretty sure they've had a discussion about what his role is going to be, what they're going to try to, find out with them in preseason. So I would say that Jaden Ivey is probably in the spot that he wants to be because, again, I believe, and I know we're going to probably get into this later on, but I think wherever Monty Williams has him, it's somewhere that Jaden Ivey is going to be comfortable because I think he really trusts that Monty's going to pull out of him what we probably were expecting to see out of him during his rookie year. Yeah, we saw the flashes of the athleticism, but we know that there is another level that his game could really get into, and I think we're starting to see that.